Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it is Wednesday night. It is 9:30. It is prime time, and you already know where we are. It's the 215 Boys on Out of the Box Sports Network here. Guys, my name is Paul Spencer. Down below, I got the showstopper Dave Yarnell. And guys, tonight we have a very special guest, Rudy Reyes from Rude Dog Radio, now iHeartRadio. So, Rudy, how's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm kind of taking an extended lunch right now from from the radio, and then to jump on a podcast. So I guess you can call this existential radio. But I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. It looks like you're doing double time over there. Good for you.
More like triple time, because I have a third job outside of being a host and having a show on the RudeDogShow.com, which everybody can go find. It's easy to do. It's just all one word, the RudeDogShow.com, and check out all the good stuff in 9 years in broadcast media. So enjoy it.
Definitely. What we'll do, Rudy, we'll put a link on there for you.
God bless you, bro.
We'll put a link on there for you so people can entertain you.
Yep. Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So, Rudy, real quick, I hope you didn't have anything good for lunch there. You're taking your time with us here. So, first of all, there. But, hey, listen, you were blessed enough. My dream is, just to recap something real quick. A lot of people don't know. Dave knows this. In 1977, I was 7 years old. My dad was in the military. We took a trip out to Oxnard, California. I didn't know who the Cowboys were. I couldn't care less. I wanted to go to Disneyland. That's all I wanted to do. But my dad took a U-turn, and we went to Oxnard, and the first person I met was Roger Staubach. I didn't know who he was. And, Rudy, it's been a lifetime goal to get back out there. And, Rudy, you were there last week.
It was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous. And I mean that from the fanfare. I didn't run into any, cackling fans. I didn't run into anyone who was not a Cowboys fan. And, of course, with guys on the field, they clearly are fans of putting the pads on and, getting everything going. And obviously the 2023 season ahead of us, certainly trying to put their best foot forward, literally and figuratively, to make a very solid run towards another Super Bowl run for the Cowboys. Who are always, by the way, trying to find themselves in the Super Bowl conversation.
27 years, Rude. 27 years and counting. We're still waiting.
Yeah, as you see, that's one of our banners up top, 27 years and counting. Ever since we've been doing this, we have actually just changed one more year on there. Thank God we can count that high, Rudy, put it that way.
Yeah, I don't know if I can count it all. Sometimes you got to put the horse before the cart in order to get things going, and that's where the Cowboys are right now. Yes, they're pegged every year to be in the Super Bowl, always slated to be in the Super Bowl. Fans want them passionately to get to the big game. There've been not really a ton of turnover, more like addition by subtraction for the Cowboys, with some additions. In the draft, as you know. You have a tackle in round one, Mozzie Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, who looked really good out there on the field. Lamarvion Overshown, solid pick, in round three. Just a beast. Fast snap count, good body in regards to his physicality, being able to get off the line and penetrate. One of his trademarks out of college, Valami Fehoko Jr., who was trying to get involved in the first team defense when I was there. Something to really look out for. And of course, with guys like Stephon Gilmore, who's a veteran, who's been around in the NFL, also, and obviously playing first team defense, sometimes in the slot, sometimes he was playing corner or even safety. So you got to look out for him. And then Asim Richards on the other side of the ball, just a big, intimidating guy. He's just big. He's huge. And one thing I like about him is his physical stature, how physical he is with defenders coming his way. He lowers his hips. Center of gravity's good. He knows what he's doing. I think it's just a matter of time, and I don't mean to shove him in the first team offense, but it's just a matter of time before he develops into something very nice for the Cowboys. And of course, last but not least, a corner, as you would expect, 5'9", and Eric Scott Jr.
Yes.
Around in the supplementary rounds. I call supplementary 6, but you know how that goes.
Right.
He's not exactly Mr. Irrelevant, but he was certainly up there to say the least. In the lower 178th pick overall in the 6th round. So a lot of great things that I had a chance to look at while there at Cowboys training camp for sure.
Great. Dave, go ahead if you have any questions.
Wow, I'm impressed. I heard there was good news with Ozzie Smith. His MRI wasn't as bad as we thought.
That's correct. Yeah, the update on him is Ozzie Smith is just a slight strain, nothing that he can't overcome. The great athletic training staff that the Cowboys have will certainly do their job and get him up to snuff. He may not see any preseason time at all, but that depends on the severity and what their judgment call is when the game comes calling.
Now, Rudy, I do have a question for you leading into our next comment that we'll put on here. Of course, we do have Eagles fans that check in, so there are those people out there, that want to be, the 5-time Super Bowl champion, but your team is 6-time Super Bowl, so we don't need to get into that, Rudy. We don't have to talk about the Steelers today, but we talked about this. The one thing I sent you was Dak threw the pick. How is Dak actually looking? Which leads into our comment here. Dak is looking good in practice, throwing interceptions. What did you see? Because the media wants to see it. The media wants to see certain things that they show and they portray, but they don't show every ball that Dak throws. What did you see, Rudy?
What I seen were solid reads. There were a lot of good things that he did from under center. I do like his rollout. I seen him go left. I seen him go right. It's for him, again, the obstacle, and I mentioned this on a Twitter Spaces about 4 days ago to a group of basically fans, not really professionals, broadcast media people, but I basically stated that I'm going to tell you guys the very same thing, that Dak has the biggest monkey on his back, probably larger than the one that was on Steve Young's shoulders and his back, along with his neck, pulling him down before he finally won the big one. I think that's where Dak Prescott is right now. It was his birthday that day, on the very first day of training camp, which I thought was quite nice. You've seen CeeDee Lamb come out with a birthday shirt. You guys can find all those photos.
Yes, seen those.
at the Dallas Cowboys training camp on the RudeDogShow.com. Just click on the tab and see all the photos. Dak Prescott, if you don't know him, if you've never met him, probably one of the nicest guys on the planet. He's kid-friendly. He's people-friendly, very likable, very nice guy.
Real quick, going back to training camp, how's the ankle look? Should we be concerned, or is it looking good, or what's the deal?
Doesn't look like there's anything. I mean, gingerly, when he came out for the very first, set of snaps at practice, for warm-ups and such, he was kind of skipping a little bit, but not skipping to where something was wrong with his ankle or his leg or his shin. It was just more about part of the warm-up process, the foot shuffle, trying to get accustomed to what that would actually be in a real game time situation. So it looked good. I didn't see any problem with it. But again, it's all about, reps in real time games that really determine how you're able to last or maybe not.
Okay. Is he getting the ball out faster than normal, or is it seem the same, or what do you think?
His snap is probably from snap to throw, probably anywhere between 2.7 to 3.4 seconds. So that's good. The problem with that is that he doesn't follow through on his progressions, not in every snap, but on the ones that I witnessed, the turnovers, the interceptions. But don't forget, we're talking vanilla play here.
Right.
Vanilla can either do one of two things: work against you or work for you. And when you throw interceptions on vanilla play, that doesn't look very good. It doesn't look good on paper, and it doesn't look good on video. And you guys can check out some of the video captures that I took as well on the RudeDogShow.com, Dallas Cowboys training camp page. But I think he just needs to really slow down, allow plays to develop, and really find a way to execute. The quarterback coach told me one time, he says, if it's not a first down and it's not a check down, you throw the ball away. End of story. Right. And that's completely accurate. I will put that on my tombstone when I die, maybe in whole and not in part. But Uh, I just think that when you look at Dak, it's a developmental situation. Now this year, without Kellen Moore calling the plays, he will be taking over as a primary play caller. He's been good at doing that. He did that in Green Bay.
Right.
He did that for Favre. He did that for Rodgers. You've been around a long time. And Mike McCarthy is a very nice guy, by the way, very accommodating, very nice. Shook his hand on his way to the NFL Network set, which everybody obviously went over to have post practice, conversations with Brian Baldinger and and the like. But he's going to have a chance to call these plays. Now, it's not a matter of calling the plays; it's a matter of whether or not Dak Prescott can actually execute it and make it become a reality, and not a reality of turnovers.
Right.
Now, my question for you is, I coach Pop Warner up here, so I'm the offensive coordinator, head coach. My question to you, I've always said this about Dak Prescott: mobile, smart quarterback, make the right reads. But to me, he never looks down his progression tree the way it should. Has that something shown? I mean, I know 7-on-7s, just like you said, very vanilla. But can you see from that, Rudy, what you've seen at training camp? Is he starting to look at 1, 2, 3 progression read? If not there, check down. And as you said, if it's not there, let's not take a sack. Let's get rid of the ball and throw it out of bounds.
Well, it's all about football IQ, right?
Mm-hmm.
No turnover, regardless of field position, is going to do anything for you unless you find a way to follow those progressions to get it either on a first down or 4th and inches or whatnot. We've seen the Cowboys get in situations where they were 4th and inches last year, and Dak just had taken it himself. But that's with Zac Martin. Well, Zac Martin is still a holdout, and there's still a financial gap in between the decision-making process of whether or not he's going to come back. I think they're working on it. It's a work in progress. Zac Martin is an all-pro. He's been through this before. He understands what he needs to do, what he has to do, and his agent also the very same thing. So At the end of the day, the way it can get better is if Zac Martin is there. But to create a higher completion percentage, Dak needs to follow through with those progressions faster. He needs better reads. There needs to be a lot more trickery offensively. You can go back to the Dez. Did he catch? Did he not catch it?
Yes, he caught it.
And you know what? He did. He did catch the ball, and that should have been a touchdown. I remember that game explicitly. But with NFL rules at that time, you could have the same conversation about a certain Steelers tight end that in the end zone ultimately was called short of the line to gain for a touchdown. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But Dak just needs to follow through. He needs to do a little bit more work in regards to those progressions and follow the reads accordingly. If he does, I think the Cowboys will have much better success. He knows how to drop that long ball. There's no question. I mean, you got to just be Lamb a handful, maybe by now a dozen times. So it's not a question of whether or not he can throw the long ball. It's just a matter of short yardage situations, understanding where he is, and not forcing the double coverage downfield, maybe 10 to 20 plus yards.
That's a great comment. What I tell my quarterback, we run a run and shoot offense as well, 4 wide, 1 back. And what I tell my quarterback is, let's play the sticks. Let's play the sticks. Know where you're at every down. Know where you're at. Know where the sticks are at. Hey, 4 times 3 is 12. That's all we really need. Let's play smart. Let's get the first down. But Joe Sullivan, you can check him out every Monday down on the Sully Squad, and also Extra Innings Baseball with Dave Yarnell. He says, hey, fellas, can't wait for season. Philly and Dallas going back and forth like 2 heavyweights. Pass the popcorn. I agree. And he also agrees with this here. He says that Dez call was the biggest BS call.
It's always that way. It's always that way. And it'll always be that way. I remember when the Cowboys played the 49ers last year in a playoff scenario where if Dallas would win, they would be in. But unfortunately they didn't. They lost to the 49ers. And it had a lot to do with the penetration up front, whether Zac Martin's there or not. You have the Bosa, which you can never, cross out. His other brother plays down in Los Angeles with the Chargers. But I just think that line has to do its job. It has to hold up, and you have to be able to make sure you protect that QB at all time, because your backup is Will Greer.
Now, where's Cooper Rush? How's he?
I was going to say, where's Cooper Rush at?
Cooper looks good. I was shocked.
He always looks good.
He looks good. it's really about reps, though. I mean, it
Right.
truly is. If you compare Dak's numbers in preseason to Tony Romo's numbers preseason, not that Tony Romo's like anyone to walk on water. He hasn't won the big one and never will, obviously. But the numbers speak for themselves. Tony Romo's got career yardage.
Sure.
He's in the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Fame or whatever they want to call it.
Ring of Honor, is that right?
That too. Maybe he's the maid of honor. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I really think that Dak Prescott can do great things this year for the Cowboys to stay upright, make better decisions, with guys like Tony Pollard, who ranks 2, by the way, in fantasy this year in the upcoming season, 200 plus touches. You can't go wrong with a guy like that who knows how to be the utilitarian back when you need him to, and that's one of the reasons why they let Zeke go. However, that could change with some suspensions on the horizon. Zeke could have that conversation with Jerry in regards to coming back and being that guy. I just don't think they utilize Zeke as much in the outside aspects, being the guy in the slot, being the guy on the outside, a little toss, a little dump, over the top, whatever. Zeke is a very powerful guy, very powerful runner, downhill guy. But I think Tony Pollard gives them what I guess Zeke was misaligned to not do, which is your touches, which is your touchdowns, his ability to break through, being that elite runner. So watch out for Tony Pollard, who looks absolutely the part as he did last year, extremely physical runner. But again, in a vanilla defense rather, or on both sides of the ball, as far as that's concerned, it's really hard to test the mettle of what these guys can really bring until you put the shoulder pads on. Of course, that's what we're going to see in the upcoming weeks, our preseason games. At least 3 throughout the NFL, including my team, who'll be playing tomorrow. So it's going to be very interesting.
I guess my question to you is: Will we see Gallup on the field during training camp, during training preseason? I should say.
Who? I'm sorry.
I said, will we see Michael Gallup during preseason?
I think so. He looked really good. You're going to see Stephon Gilmore too in preseason to build familiarity with that defensive secondary. Again, Stephon is a beast. Good question, Joe Sullivan. I think he has a different dimension. Stephon Gilmore, you guys can follow him. I think he's at Gilly Moore or something like that on social media. He's not a huge social media guy, but I really think that he's just one of those. He's just one of those sneakaboo guys that are just going to come up and nab you. He's played in Indianapolis. He played on a couple other teams. He just looks so good with the New England Patriots.
Yes.
But Patriots, as you know, they do have turnover, especially on the defensive side of the ball, with guys that are aging, guys that have already won Super Bowls, like Gilmore. So he brings the championship medal within the locker room and that kind of swag and mentality to really get things done. I think he's going to be a difference maker in this Cowboys secondary for at least for the remaining time that he's on contract.
Okay. Now I know we talked about Zac Martin, where he is, I understand. Now my question to you, Rudy, is this. It's a 2-part question, actually. I know Zac, still holding out. That is the foundation of the offensive line. We definitely need him as a staple piece. Now I was commenting on Jim Jeffcoat and Byron Williams' show tonight, and I asked Jim Jeffcoat the same question. What about Zac Martin? And he said, being that he played with the Cowboys for years, he said that being 33 years old, going into a long-term contract, that's something Dallas doesn't want to go down that route. Maybe they want to give him a 2 to 3 year window, but if Zac wants the 4 and 5, did you hear anything about that one as well?
What I do know is that he's incurring at least $600,000 worth of fines by not being at training camp. You cannot take that money back. Once you make that agreement, you're supposed to be there. When I was there at training camp, I had a chance to speak to Clarence Hill, who covers the Cowboys. Yes. I had a chance to meet Ed Werder as well of ESPN, who was there. And both of those guys clearly don't really know what's going on and what the holdup is. But what they do know is that they're way too far apart right now. But as long as Zac Martin is out, even though his contract says he needs to be at training camp, 600,000 could turn into $1 million really quickly
Very
as
simple.
long as he holds out.
Yes. And my other question would be Tony Pollard. We see him on the sidelines, and Dave and I had talked about this many a times. My thing is, when you're a Tony Pollard runner, your jump cuts are your specialty. Your speed, your boost, just one move, take it to the house. How is he moving on that ankle? Because it all comes down to that ankle for him. What do you see with him? Is he ahead of schedule, or where do you see that, Rudy?
I think he's on schedule with enough
Okay.
off-season rest, with the right type of work and load management. I know we use that in the NBA a lot,
Sure.
but as far as load management for a guy like Tony Pollard, and you're right completely. He relies on that jump cut. He relies on the shifts and the shimmies and ankle breaker, type of moves we see on an
Yes.
NBA court. It's just a little different on an NFL field, right? So I think Tony's ahead of schedule. I think he's going to be absolutely fabulous this year. And whether or not they'll have that blocking up front, it's going to be tough without Zac Martin. So,
True.
It's kind of one shoe doesn't fit all in this situation. But if they get Zac Martin back, then Tony Pollard has a much better opportunity of getting not only those touches, but the gains from the line to get into plus territory.
Okay. Dave, you have a question?
Actually, I do. Real quick, the going back to the Dak thing, and I've been saying this last 7 years in his rookie year. Do you believe if Romo would have stayed one more year with the Cowboys, you think Dak would be better than he is now?
There was no way Tony Romo was going to stay long enough with the Cowboys. He'd already worn out his welcome.
No, I'm saying if he worked with Dak during that, if he stayed one more year with Dak and worked with him, do you think he'd be a better quarterback than he is now?
Look, number one is not going to work with number two. You find that very far few and in between. You see it way too often in the NFL. It's kind of changing a little bit because you see Aaron Rodgers working with Zach Thomas, who for the New York Jets, because Aaron knows he's not going to be there forever, and the developmental relationship that they currently have amongst one another is certainly fun to watch. There's just a lot of nuances that, how can I explain this, that Zach does not have that Aaron does. Obviously, other than the Super Bowl ring. So if Tony Romo had stayed another year, I can almost guarantee you he would make sure that Dak Prescott would be playing as a silhouette on the ground.
And I'm just asking. I was just wondering. That's all.
Now, Rudy, my question to you is regarding, we talked about Tony Pollard here. I'm a big stickler. I'm scared about one position on the field. Of course, Zac Martin, if he doesn't come back, that's huge. I don't care who you have at running back. But let's talk about Tony Pollard, which we already did. Ronald Jones, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn. What do you see? Because, there's running backs out there. Dalvin Cook wants out. He's still available. Now I'm hearing Kareem Hunt's available. What do you see in the running back room down there? Because you need that 1-2 punch, especially in this division being the NFC East.
Well, I'll tell you that the Cowboys have always been known to run the ball. And one of the issues that I have yet to see them fulfill is to have the back. Tony Pollard is a solid, back for all intents and purposes, but they really need to keep an eye on Ronald Jones a second. I think that he could be sneaky good, and he can sneak up there in the depth roster, in the depth chart, on the active roster. Whether or not he makes it on the first day to be a primetime starter remains to be seen. But I liked what I've seen from Ronald Jones, another downhill runner, but he does have some moves. He does have a spin that will put you in a spin cycle if you're not prepared to wrap him up at the legs. And he will get out of those tackles if you're not a surefire grabber.
Gotcha, because it scares me. We talked about this on our last week's show where I said, yes, Pollard is going to be on a pitch count, basically from baseball to football. He's going to be on a pitch count, limited situation, load management first 2 or 3 weeks. But then Ronald Jones is out 2 weeks because of the drug failure policy. So that's why I'm a little bit scared right now what we're going to see from that offense. It's going to be very vanilla, I think, in the first 2 to 3 weeks, even in regular season.
As well. No, you're absolutely right. I think Deuce Vaughn will see some snaps. Hunter Luepke will see some snaps. I like Hunter Luepke. Whether or not he makes it is another story. Vaughn has
what about Rico?
No.
No.
No? No?
No. He had
Okay.
no carries
No? Wow.
at training camp. Not even in a vanilla offense. So you tell me.
Wow. Okay. Hey,
Now-
I'm just asking.
Where do we see Kayvon Turpin? I mean, I love this kid's speed. I know he's a kick returner, but Rudy, I love this kid maybe in like a jet sweep or a screen game. I think him and Deuce Vaughn, they might have a couple packages under this McCarthy offense. What do you see?
I like Turpin. He's a nice guy. I see him joking around with CD. I see him joking around with a lot of guys. But when he gets on the field, he makes a big difference. I mean, and he's a very talented guy coming out of a TCU. One of the things I really enjoy about him is his ability to be that fast punt returner. I think primarily that's what you might see. I don't know what Mike McCarthy has up his sleeve. Of course, nobody else does in regards to what that looks like in a real-time game situation during the regular season. I think punt returns for now, unless, barring something tragic happens, you're going to see Turpin being the primary runner.
Okay.
I wouldn't put Pollard in that situation because, injuries with returning the ball, regardless of how good you are, could end up devastating your entire career, if not the season. So Turpin's good. He had one reception last year. He had 9 yards on a carry. And it's not as if he's being, toted around on this, on these golden arches, treated like a king. He's got to work like everybody else does.
True.
And I know some teams are kind of upset in regards to, they're working us too hard like the Commanders, and they're complaining about that. And I just think it's a bunch of hogwash, no pun intended. They're known as the Hogs. But what I also see from Turpin is being very coachable. Being very coachable, and again, likability has a lot to do with it. But just an overall great guy. I think he's going to do even more this season.
Okay. Dave, before we let Rudy go, I know he's blessing us with his lunch break here, and I'm pretty sure he wants to get out of here a little bit, get a little stretch of the legs before he goes back to his
sure
out there. But Dave, go ahead, ask Rudy another question. Give us his
Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn, what are we looking at here?
I'm sorry?
I said Deuce Vaughn, what are we looking at here? This kid for real?
It's hard to say. Preseason is more of a gauge in regards to what Vaughn's going to bring versus what we think he's going to bring. Of course, we all want high numbers for every single player that's on the roster, right? We look at these guys as being the ultimate. They are the best of the best, but the best of the best in one sense doesn't necessarily translate into being best of the best when it's all said and done when you lose in a playoff game. Now you're sitting on the couch that happens to be the best couch on the planet. Or they could find themselves, somewhere in Cancun, hanging around with all the NBA teams that aren't going to the playoffs as well.
Very true, very true. That's when you get your golf bags ready. And
I was just looking at a lot of preseason, like practices and stuff, and Deuce looked pretty good to me. So I just thought
he's going to see some snaps. There's no question whatsoever in my mind. They're going to figure out what works. Mike McCarthy will know what he needs to do. The only problem that I foresee, and I've mentioned this about a half a dozen times, if not more so, Jerry Jones just needs to leave it be. Let Mike McCarthy do his thing. Don't get in the way of progress. Let the process take care of itself.
I agree.
Now, Rudy, my question is regarding the rookies before you get out of here. I love Mozzie Smith. I'm a huge college football fan. We do a college show coming up next week again, College Football Frenzy. And Mozzie Smith has a huge motor. I've seen what he's doing in training camp. It's nonstop. He reminds me of like a Parsons, that little 1-2 punch there. Off the ball, bull rush, twist, stunts. He has it all. My question to you is, I know what he is, but what is Luke Schoonmaker looking like? And my favorite guy is Demarion Overshawn. How are they adapting? Because I think Overshawn will be starting by Game 5 for the Dallas Cowboys.
There's a lot of things to like about Smith. He does have those impeccable swim moves. He knows how to use his hands. He's a very physical guy off the line. He doesn't do a ton of grabbing. Of course, it's easy to do when you're not playing in a regular season game, right? But I think that you're going to see a lot of great things coming from this defensive line with a guy like Micah Parsons that you happen to be playing, or behind, depending on formation. So I like Smith. I like where he's going, but I also like Schoonmaker on the other side of the ball. The guy's big. Like I said, he's physical. He knows what he needs to do. He has eyes for the ball. He knows he actually is a really good blocker. I don't think people know him for that, but he's probably one of the better blockers in the NFL.
Yes.
But of course, as you know, second round picks will always make it. It's always about the 6th round picks that don't. But I think Schoonmaker is definitely he's going to be a catching machine. And you use tight ends in either a tight end bunch or use them to block or use them in the red zone, right? He just has a seriously long reach. I think it's like a 6-foot span or some nonsense.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow.
He's just a big dude. And I think he's going to grab that ball out of midair, just like we've seen from Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers. Just kind of like grabbing the hands, putting the hands out, grabbing the ball, pulling it in, and or just a little tiny toe tap. Actually, he's got good feet too. I don't mean the size, but his ability to tiny toe tap to stay in the end zone.
Well, I tell you what, speaking before you get into Overshawn real quick before I let you go there, Rudy. My thing was, with the Shoemaker, he came out of Michigan as a run blocker. That's what I'd like to see because that's what the Cowboys needed from a tight end going back to the Witten days for me. A great, pass catcher, route runner, and a great blocker, number one, that would put the team what they needed on his back. And if you're saying Shoemaker can, catch the ball and he has a good catch radius, I'm all for that because I really wasn't expecting a lot in the pass catching game with him, especially coming with if I hate to say it, if Zac Martin is out for the regular season, a couple games here or there, whatever, it's going to be a double tight end off the right side to help Tyler Smith. I'm Terrence Steele on that side as well.
Sure. No, absolutely. I really see formations like that. And again, with the vacancy of Zac Martin, you're going to have to become that much more fluid off the line. Maybe even add him to an offset line, right, where you see the right tackles or the guard and the tackle, and you have the guy offsetting that line, allowing Pollard to get that first down. You're going to see stuff like that if Martin doesn't come back. But in all fairness, with a blocker like Schoonmaker, you can probably see that happening anyway with the shift to the right for the entire line.
Yeah, I can see a lot of unbalanced lines going to the right side, especially on that side. Even if they want to go a jumbo package next to the Swift boys on the left side, that would be huge as well.
Sure, exactly. Well, look, the more versatile you are as a player, the more versatile you will be in that offense, and you'll see a lot more playing time because they'll recognize the athleticism and the gifts that you possess in order to make the team that much better in any given situation.
Gotcha. Well, Rudy, look, we're going to let you go here. The last thing was we always do final thoughts. I won't take your whole final thoughts here, but since you've seen Cowboys training camp, you were blessed to be out there live. What you've seen, give me a Cowboys record for the end of the season, and how far do they go this year, in your opinion?
Oh, man.
This is from a Steelers fan. I know, a Steelers fan. I'm sorry.
You're putting them on the spot there,
Hey, that's what we do.
This is really tough. I think when you look at the Cowboys, playoff bound, yes. Deep in the playoffs, that's hard to say.
Agree.
We can deal with that.
I just think that when you look at what they did last year, losing to the 49ers, whom they could have easily won that game, but again, without following your progression.
They should have won that game.
Certainly should have won that game. Look, they end the season 12-5. That's a respectful number. But for any team, that's not the number. You want to be the Eagles at 14-3, or you want to be, you want to surpass that. You want to get there. I think the Cowboys find themselves maybe in a very similar number for this year as they do last year. I'd say maybe 13-4.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, I can respect that.
That's a nice record there.
That's staying healthy too. That's being very healthy.
Well, I had him at 12-5, so that's just me. But
well, I'll be honest with you. The injuries play a key role in a variety of things: play calling, personnel groupings, playoff push. Where are you at position wise? Are you fighting for that last NFC wildcard spot? Health. All of these. And all obviously the unmentionable components of who these guys are and what they bring to any given season will determine whether or not they make it to the big game. And I think the Cowboys certainly are going to give the Eagles a run for their money.
Love it.
However, with that being said, I still don't believe they're going to get to a Super Bowl. I still believe that They're starting to figure things out now.
Mm-hmm.
I met Micah Parsons on the sideline. I had interviewed his dad during the 2022 NFL draft.
Nice.
And that was in Las Vegas. And so one of the things that I appreciated about his dad and speaking to him, and Zeke's dad as well, because they both team up and do wonderful things for kids in underprivileged communities all over the country. And they're very nice guys, by the way. But I was talking to Mike, and I asked him, I said, how's the defense look? He says, it looks good now. So, he's the ultimate difference maker on that line. He can play any position you put him in, and he doesn't shy away from it. And he's not going to because he's just not that guy. He's not wired that way. And he's almost the equivalent of a one-man wrecking team, and we've seen him do that time and time again.
We saw it at Penn State too, I mean, seriously.
Right. Exactly, but he needs help. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Cowboys went heavy on the D, because they have the weapons on the O. But again, it's all about groupings, personnel, health. Very true. There's so many different facets of what this Cowboys team could actually end up looking like. But I believe they'll end up getting in the playoffs and taking care of whatever opponent. If they make it to the Super Bowl, then so be it. But if they face a high-powered AFC offense that's higher powered than they are offensively, and they don't try to change things too drastically, don't believe in the hype, I think they could end up in a Super Bowl conversation.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, Rudy, before we let you go, where can my followers follow you at? We're gonna put it on our show as well here, so you're part of the family here, and please don't hesitate to come back.
I appreciate that. You guys can find me at theruddoggshow.com. That's TheRuddogShow. It's a mouthful.com. No, you can drop the mouthful. But make sure you go check that out. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Definitely. And,
thank you for coming.
Rudy, I'm going to hold you to that doing a Pittsburgh Steelers show for my network.
Sounds good. Let me know.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Hey, go. I'll say it for you because I do live in the Pittsburgh area. I live in the 814. AFC, go Pittsburgh, okay? For you. Only you, Rudy.
Appreciate that. Thanks,
Rudy. We appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it, brother.
Night, okay?
Thank you.
Right,
take care.
Right.
You too.
All right, that was Rudy Reyes, man. Great guy, great, great personality, very humble. Him and I talk a lot, and it's really great to have him on the show. Dave, we talk about seeing real Cowboy action. He's living it.
He's definitely seen it. That's for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it brought a lot of eyes up. Like we see a lot of things out there, of course. Dak's throwing the ball here, he's throwing there. Well, what we're seeing is a little bit different than Dak, just like you said. The timing's a little bit different. The reads are a little bit there. He's getting the ball out faster. He's making decisions, not the bonehead back-to-back mistakes anymore, Dave, which is good for us if you think about it.
Sure, absolutely. I totally agree.
But I mean, Dave,
I was going to ask you about offensive coordinator, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But
well,
that's okay.
He did say Mike McCarthy is taking over the play calling 100%.
He did, right? Well, I was going to say where does that put shots? Is my question.
I think honestly, I'll ask him on the side. When I chat to him again, we talk all the time, and I'll ask him. My belief is I think he's the same way. I think Schottenheimer's just going to be ear, sitting a birdie sitting on McCarthy's neck, shoulder here, saying,
I can see that.
Oh, let's not abandon this. Let's not abandon it. I think he's going to be more of a, what's the word, Dave? A consultant is what I'm thinking, honestly. I don't think he's going to have any jurisdiction of, okay, no, I'm going to overrun you and say we're going to run this. Oh, no, I'm going to overrun it. We're going to run this. I don't see that at all. I don't see that. But
he said if Jerry would step back and let Mike McCarthy do his thing.
Exactly. I love how he said that.
I loved how he said that. That to me, that was very interesting. He said that.
We've been saying that a lot of time. The puppet master, going back to the Garrett days. The only last puppet master we had was Jimmy Johnson. Who wasn't that? It was a 180 from what we've had. And I think Mike McCarthy is still the puppet to us. But you know what? Maybe you have to cut the strings a little bit to Jerry and say, let me run my team, which we might see, just like Rudy said. If he cuts the strings there and Jerry just signs the checks, maybe Cowboy football can come back with a coach that's won before. We know that. Well,
according to Rudy, it sounds like the Cowboys are a few steps away. Which is
I mean, I think they're up there, Dave, honestly. But, the biggest thing is, let's go back and talk about this. Zac Martin. I mean, okay, $600,000, Dave. $600,000.
I can't get over this. What happened to I'll be there soon? Where's that?
Well, You did hear Rudy say they're basically, on both ends of the universe here. I mean, you're looking at this contract versus this contract. I understand, Dave. Yes, he's worth the contract. If it's my money, hey, I'm going out and cutting every damn money tree I have in the backyard to give this
Right.
guy that money. But Dave, I don't get it. I mean, he's worth it,
I
but
don't I don't get it either. I just don't understand. I mean, I guess to Jerry, you got to finish the contract out before I sign you again. And I get that, but on the second hand, he is one of the best offensive linemen in the league.
But
So,
Dave, loyalty doesn't go a long way with NFL players.
not anymore. It doesn't. No.
Certain players are loyal, but yes, Zac Martin is a loyal guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems like a nice guy. He's a team player. He'll do anything for the team.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen some interviews with this guy, and he sounds like he's
but Dave,
a down to earth kind of guy. I just don't get it.
But look at it on the other side, Dave. If I'm Jerry Jones and you're Zac Martin and you're holding out and let's say let's throw a number, Dave. Let's just say $20 million a year, okay? Now, Dave, I'm going to pay you that $12 million, but I'll give you $20 million for 2 years. That's what I'm going to give you. No, Paul, I want 5 years, $20 million. Okay, how about we do this? How about we do 1 year, $25 million, highest played offensive line, 1 year category. But that year plays out, Dave. That loyalty and a lot of NFL players are not going to stick with them, Dave, because it's all about money now.
I think it'll be a 3-year deal, if anything.
He's
3 or 4.
He's 33. And just like Jim Jeffcoat said on the show earlier that I was watching earlier, we're going to have Jim Jeffcoat hop on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. Yeah.
He actually mentioned, he's played for the Cowboys, under Jerry Jones, actually. And He was saying that it's come to fact that a lot of NFL owners do not want to play older players at their position where they can go out and get a younger player at a utility price based on what you're playing a all-universe Zac Martin guy.
Yeah, but there's not many Zac Martins out there.
Very true. That's the thing right there. You got you can put the scale out there and say, okay, he's all universe. He wants this money. Well, the medium is you're getting your money's worth with the best player in the universe. Why not?
Zac Martin's been there, done that, knows the offense in and out.
Exactly.
He's a great. I mean, his play shows on the field every time. He doesn't miss games either. So I mean.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we talked about the Pollard situation with Rudy there. He says he's jumping around, he's moving a little bit.
I told you he looks good. I've been seeing very good things about him.
I mean, I've been watching a lot of the Dallas Cowboy, their podcast a lot at training camp because I get their channels. Mm-hmm. And I was watching and I see him, just running around, basically doing utility moves, not spinning, not cutting, but the progression is there. They're not going to. Of course, we're not going to see him all preseason. We know that, Dave. No, we know that. But if Rudy tells me he's on schedule, I'm okay with that. But Dave, let's talk about this. Ronald Jones, as I said, 2 weeks out, the drug pump. Dave, you sent me something earlier. Kareem Hunt, he wants out.
Yeah, he wants. Well, he left. He left the Colts without anything.
Well, let's talk about him. Dalvin Cook. What do we do, Dave? Ronald Jones out 2 weeks.
He's got to get one of the other. I mean, that's either your Ronald Jones. I'm sorry, not Ronald Jones. Cook, Hunt. Or you bring back Zeke. It's one or the other. I mean,
the funny thing is, I was actually chatting with somebody today, and he at practice he brought up Zeke's name. He was like, "Would you bring him back?" And I was like, the best thing to do. I don't want him preseason. I don't even want to talk to Zeke during the preseason. He's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "No." My best thing is he doesn't get signed during preseason, Dave. He goes all through preseason without a job. Nobody signs him. That's when I call Zeke. I don't call Zeke personally. I take, hey, Dak, call your boy Zeke.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take his hometown discount. Not playing there wise, not, Ohio State, whatever.
Right.
But
right.
Take that Cowboy discount who gave you the contract first, the Cabo money. We gave it to you. Come on back for this cheap price. We're not going to give you that $10 million. We're not going to give you that $8 million. We're going to give you a $5 million 1 year deal. Come on back, man.
Yeah.
And he was like, who would ever come back for $5 million? I was like, listen, when you eat filet mignon every day of your life, Dave, okay, and that filet mignon goes away and you're eating hot dogs and ramen noodles, you're going to come back for that filet mignon with $5 million, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just shocked that these running backs that do not have jobs or not. I mean, it's blowing my mind.
That's my only downfall. We have to have a bigger back. I believe in Ronald Jones to a certain extent, Dave, but
I like Ronald Jones. I got nothing against Ronald Jones. I think he's a good running back. He's not bad.
Dave, what scares me is, we have the Commander show every Tuesday night, 6:30 with Sean. He talks Commander's Gridiron. Of course, we have an Eagles, Sully Squad. A lot of shows talk about it. The Eagles, of course, Giants, Big Blue Power on Monday night. But my thing is, if you listen to these shows, Dave, the front four for all four teams in the NFC East is nasty. Okay,
Yeah.
you need that 1-2 punch. And yes, Ronald Jones has a lot of miles left on his tank, a lot of gas still there, but it scares me having that little smaller 210 big back. But Dave, I'm so used to a guy that can run up the middle. And I don't want to. I don't want to run east and west, Dave. You have to. You have to keep the defense honest by running up the gaps, Dave. And we don't have that back to do that.
No, we don't. Like I said, you got to bring back one of the three. It's there. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, Kareem Hunt's a good running back. I don't understand why nobody wants that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a lot of mileage left on his tank. Playing with Chubb for a while there as well. I think he has a lot of miles left on there. That's just like the Ronald Jones situation. A cheap price, Ronald Jones. A cheap price, Kareem Hunt. Why not? Put him on a 1-year deal. Make him audition for the team. If you don't keep him next year, hey, you know what? You have game film to progress yourself to another team and get that big bag contract. Very simple, but we're not the GMs, Dave. All we can say is this and that.
This is all we can do. This is true.
Hell, if it was up to me, Dave, I think I would have a team of all-stars with no money in the bank left over. I think I would have that one penny left over at all. When we have $20 million to spend, we don't spend anything. But me, I think I would have 1 cent left over signing every damn player I could, Dave, for 1 year.
Hey, man. I brought up Rico for training camp. I thought maybe he'd get a shot. Guess not.
I guess I don't have to wear a jersey this year, do I, brother?
Well, yeah, according to Rudy, he's not even touching the field. But I saw an interview with him just this morning. I was watching an interview with Rico.
That's because Dave. Go ahead. I'm going to listen to what he said. What do you say?
No, I'm just saying. I saw an interview with Rico this morning, and he said, if he gets his chance, he's going to make the best of it. And I thought, do your thing, man.
Dave, there's a difference when my beautiful lady out there, Colleen Wolf, interviews somebody from a team and says, "Hey, Rico, how you doing today?" "Oh, I'm doing good. I get in the ball a lot." There's a difference between on the field and playing Madden in your own.
I agree. I hear you, but I'm just saying. I mean, he probably won't touch the field, but he did a couple times last year.
Well, the only thing I can say is that, Dave, I don't have to go out and get a Rico jersey. I'll probably be the only son of a bitch in that jersey.
This is true.
I think I have to get that personalized because I don't think they even sell that anywhere, Dave, honestly.
Hey, if he touches the field in preseason, I'll be happy with that.
Hey, that's fine. He probably will, Dave, because let's see. Think about it. He's okay. Pollard's
fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, and there's nobody. Let him play.
Not only that. Okay, listen. Here's the thing. He's definitely going to play in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. Reason why, Dave? Think about this. Pollard's not touching the field, right?
Sure, man.
Ronald Jones doesn't touch the field in weeks 1 and 2 in preseason. All preseason, he's on suspension, and the first games he can't play.
Yeah.
So that's them too. So Dave, you're at Malik Davis, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Rico. Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
Dave, your boy's going to touch the field unless he has one game where he scores 8 touchdowns. Al Bundy situation. That's the only way he's going to make the team, Dave.
This is true.
Hey, I wish him well, Rico. Listen, if you're out there, I'm your naysayer. I don't think you can do it. Go out, kid. Ball out. I will buy the jersey.
Prove it's wrong, Rick.
Exactly. If you make the team, get in the real game, score a touchdown, I will rock that Rico jersey on the show.
I'm excited to see. Me personally, I'm excited to see Michael Gallup come back. I really am. I want to see Michael Gallup.
This is his sophomore year coming back to injury. I want to see what he does.
I want to see what he does. I really do.
Speaking of Fuji out there, Eagles fans, there's Fuji out there. You can check him out every Thursday night. He will not be on tomorrow night. He has Philadelphia Phillies games that he has to attend to. That he has to work. Work comes first. So he will be
busy man. Huh?
Yes, he will be on a little hiatus for a couple weeks doing that. But Fuji, the show's always yours. You're always there. So check him out when he comes back. Fuji's Philly Flair, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Great show. Great interviews with the local people from the tri-state area. Not only football, entertainment, charity-wise, whatever, it's there for Fuji. One day closer to kickoff. Exactly. I'm counting down on my calendar when it's going to happen. I can't wait till we play those son of a bitches from New York up there. They're Giants.
Got to go up to Giantsville.
But yeah. I don't know, Dave. I think being what Rudy said, 12-5 is a great situation. But
he said 13-4. I was like, whoa.
13-4, 12-5. That same scenario there. But I mean, I can live with that. But my thing is, Dave, how I am. I'm a little bit different. I'm wired different. I'm never going to play for participation trophy.
No, and I understand that. I get it.
Never will. But let's talk about one thing, Dave. Now,
actually, we cut another kicker this week. If you remember,
yeah.
Vizcaíno got cut. Yeah.
Well, where's your guy ended up? Where'd your guy end up, Dave? Money guy. Where did he go?
I want to say, did he go to New Orleans? I think we went to New Orleans.
Wasn't it Denver?
Oh, it's Denver. Yes, Denver.
Yep.
Yes, correct. Yep. Yes, Broncos. Yes. Why did I say New Orleans?
I don't know, but you know what? If he's at Denver now, congratulations.
Yeah, he's a Bronco.
Dollar Store Maher. I'm never going to call you your name anymore. Never going to say that to you.
Danny Dollar Store.
I don't even know if he's Dollar Store.
Money Maher. Money Maher. There you
Dave, you said it, Dave. I'm not going to say it, okay? But you know what? I think he does strive there because we know that altitude can kick ball a little bit further, and he does have a good leg. So I think he's going to do good. We don't have you this year, so I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I don't care where he goes, to be honest with
you. Yeah. But, Dave, let's talk about the rookies real quick. I'm very ecstatic from what Rudy said tonight because of the fact I know Mozzie Smith has a huge motor. I was very high on this kid.
Yeah.
I love the kid. Great technique, great everything, as Rudy said. He's seen it.
I'm just glad we got good news on him, man. I was nervous when they said the MRI. I was like, oh, no.
And that's one of the things, your first-round pick, you're definitely slotted to play next to Parsons, of course, and he has an MRI on his ankle or his knee, and I'm like, oh, God, come on, really? Cowboys luck, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
But my thing is, Dave, Luke Schoonmaker. Now, I was very high on this kid.
You mentioned him a lot.
I love the kid. And my thing was, Dave, my bugaboo was what? He's not a pass catcher. He's a run blocker.
He's a run blocker. Yeah.
And Rudy say this kid has a 6-foot catch radius, arm span. He's catching everything. He's a red zone threat at 6'6". He's catching balls, blocking, coming out of the backfield, the scheme situations. He knows where the sticks are at. Dave, I'm kind of ecstatic like that. Where one person I said can't really catch a ball is showing to catch the ball in this offense.
Yeah.
Hey, are we talking Jason Witten 2.0 here, Dave?
Could be. Wow. Very possibility. Wow.
And put him aside, just like Rudy said, with Hendershot and Ferguson on a double tight end set. You have some great tight ends on that set right there, Dave.
We know Dak loves his tight ends. I mean, how much did he love Schultz last year?
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of it, on the checkdowns, and that's one thing that Dak really relies on is a check down. Read his progression if the check down is there.
I wish Schultz luck in Houston. I hope he does well there. I do.
Very well, very well. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not in our division. I really don't care. So
the funny thing is, okay, we play them week 2, I believe, in preseason.
Preseason, yeah, I think we do.
Preseason. Does spin the wheels here? Does Dalton Schultz play that game? Being that he's a slotted starter, I don't know, Dave. What do you think?
He might.
Is that game in Dallas, Dave? Is that game in Dallas?
I gotta look at the schedule. I really don't know. I gotta be honest.
I don't know. But let's put it this way. I'm not going to look it up real quick, but let me ask you real quick. Now, speaking of the Phillies, giving a guy a standing ovation, which we're not really going to talk about at all. We won't even talk about it. But my thing is this, Dave. Dalton Schultz gave us 3 good years. Okay, the last 2 years was great years. We look at that and we give him kudos. He did a great job for us. Great pass catcher. The injuries kind of set him back with the back situation. But of course, money's money. You got to go where you got to go. Dave. Right. Does he, if it's at Dallas, even if it is, it's not, let's say it is, does he get a standing ovation when he comes on the field, Dalton Schultz?
I don't know if he'll get a standing ovation. But,
I think you're going to hear a lot of Dalton chants. Dalton,
yeah, it's a possibility.
I think so. I mean, I'm not that type player. I mean, I respect players, I think he would. Not, it's one of those, congratulations, welcome back, whatever. Now, screw you. You know what I mean?
I don't even think we played. We don't play in Houston.
I thought we played in preseason.
We have Jackson. We have Jacksonville, Seattle, and the Raiders.
I thought we played Houston this year, Dave.
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, damn. Well, that takes away that for me, don't it?
Jacksonville week 1, Seattle week 2, and the Raiders week 3.
Jeez, I thought we actually did.
Then we go to the Giants. Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. I'm so used to playing them every year because
I know every year we're used to seeing them. Yeah, we won't see them.
That's my apologies. I didn't do my homework.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, wow. I just happened to look at the schedule.
Well, you know what? Screw you, Dalton. You ain't getting a damn.
No, God, I just wish you luck in Houston, man. I hope you do well. I really do.
Well, you know what? For me, I'm not going to give you a standing ovation.
And don't forget to catch the ball and move forward, please. Don't go backward.
See, you went there, Dave. You went there, didn't you? And that's one of the things.
I had to.
That was one of the things that I always yelled in the group chat. The son of a bitch catches the ball, but he drops right there.
But Dak loved him. Dak loves his tight ends. We know that.
He did what he did. Hey, listen, you do what you do. But Demarion Overshawn, I'm watching this guy play, Dave.
This kid's for real.
Dave, I'm telling you, I love this kid. I think he was probably I think he was a top 2 linebacker in the draft. I really did.
You're very high on him, that's for sure.
I love this kid. I already ordered his jersey. I'm still waiting on his thing to come in. I can't wait, Dave. I'm telling you, think about that linebacking core, Dave. It's going to be nasty. And to me, just like Rudy said, Gilmore's looking great. He's a veteran presence coming into the team. Great situation. Malik Hooker's back there, re-signed him. Donovan Wilson coming back. We look good. Front four is good with the rotation as well. Think about it. It could be there also. We have a Nevin Gallimore. Come on,
Yeah.
we have a great line.
Neville, that's what I'm curious. I don't know what's up with Neville. I'm trying to figure him out.
I don't know why he's in a doghouse, Dave. I really
Yeah,
don't.
he really is in a doghouse. I can't.
But when he's on the field, Dave, you're hearing the announcer.
He's a beast.
Nevin Gallimore on the stop. Nevin Gallimore with the
Neville is a beast. I just don't get it. I mean, the kid.
When you think about it, it's hard to crack that rotation with this front four, Dave. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence is out there, okay? And I think that's what it is. I think the rotation is set where it is, but under the Dan Quinn thing, I think he gets a lot more looks this year because Dan Quinn, 11 hats on one ball. That's the way he plays. Dan Quinn. And I think he's going to get a lot more time for that front seven there. But
I agree.
My thing, Dave, the one player, I'm going to go back to this guy, Dave. I love this kid 2 years ago when I said we picked him up from LSU, Jabril Cox.
Yeah, Jabril Cox. Yeah.
Dave, if he can stay healthy, I think
he's got to stay healthy. That's the problem.
That's what gets me. If he can stay healthy, I think if Parsons drops back to the linebacker, which he's going to play linebacker DN, we know that, but he's going to play more linebacker, utility hybrid guy. But Dave, think about that linebacking core. Think about that core.
I know.
Jerron Bland at safety, then come on, Dave, that's going to be nasty. I mean,
I hear you. I mean, everybody keeps saying our defense is going to be top 5, and I definitely agree with that.
I think top 3, honestly.
Maybe top 3. Yeah, I mean, even Matt said top 3.
I mean, you got to look at it last year. I mean, why weren't we top in the NFL, Dave? You know why, right? What is your philosophy? Why we weren't top in the NFL in defense?
Why?
Yeah, what do you think? Why we weren't number 1 defense overall?
Our corner, Anthony Brown.
I don't even think it was that.
Toast Brown.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was the offense, Dak Prescott.
Okay.
He put us in pitch situations, Dave. How many 3-and-outs did we have?
Oh, all the time. But I'm just saying.
And that defense is so gassed. I don't care, Dave, if you have, Ray Lewis at linebacker, you have Revis Island out there, you're going to get toasted sometimes because 3-and-outs go a long way. 3-and-outs go a long way.
Yeah, but I think Anthony Brown had a lot to do with it, too. I mean, how many times did he get burnt?
Well, speaking of him, what happens with him, Dave? I mean, he's injured. What happens with him? I mean, what do we do with him?
I don't know.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. If Kelvin Joseph ever starts, I'm probably going to become an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't deal with that guy. I cannot.
Yeah, not many people are Kelvin Joseph fans. That's for sure.
No, I can't deal with them. I mean,
I
like our
defense. He gets burnt too much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because the way I'm looking at it, I think the weakest link on the Cowboys defense right now, I'm going to say is Leighton Vander Esch.
I wouldn't go there.
That's only if he's playing middle linebacker, but he only has to have one job, Dave, and that's if Damon Clark, we know he's east and west, north to south.
Leighton's good going east to west. He can't go north to south. That's the problem.
No, he can't go north and south. He's a gap stopper, Dave. He hits the middle, but he can't go sideline to sideline. Right. That's east and west.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's I think if he stays in the middle and he controls the line of scrimmage.
There's been times Leighton Vander Esch has saved us a lot. You think about it.
Yeah,
but there have been times where he's made key tackles like we're not. There's guys getting that first down. He's been there.
Yeah, I'm going to give him credit. I'm not going to bash the guy.
I mean, he signed a 2-year deal. He's here for another 2 years. Then.
Well, yeah, because last year he auditioned playing a hometown discount. $1.2 million that year. And
I know he had the neck injury last year. He had the stinger last season, if I'm not mistaken.
But Dave, when was the last time he played 17 games and didn't have a stinger?
Well, no, you're going to get 1 or 2. That's just the way he is.
That's very true. That's very true.
But I think he's been pretty decent, to be honest with you.
I mean, I love our defense, Dave. I mean, you got DeMarcus Lawrence.
How can you not?
Jonathan Hankins.
I'm excited for Gilmore. Gilmore is what I'm looking at. I cannot wait to see this kid. I'm excited.
I want to see him because I don't think they can pick on Gilmore or they can pick off. Who are you going to pick on now? Because you think about this, Dave. Look at our front four here: DeMarcus Lawrence, Jonathan Hankins, Odigizua, and then you have Micah Parsons line up on the defense. That's the front four. That's the front four. Now, Dave, let's talk about this. The backups. Sam Williams, Micah Parsons 2.0.
Sam Williams he's a monster. He can really.
Now here's the thing. I didn't even put Mozzie Smith in rotation yet. Okay.
No.
Nevin Gallimore, Dorrance Armstrong.
All right, that's the guy I'm worried about.
Now, Dave, let's talk about Quentin Bohanna.
I love Dorrance Armstrong. That man, he's a beast.
And then in the third situation, which is your 11th guy, basically, you have Quentin Bohanna.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, linebackers: Vander Esch, Damon Clark, Jabril Cox. I didn't even put Overshawn in there yet.
No.
That's insane. Corners, Gilmore, Diggs, Bland, which I love. I love Deron Bland.
Well, when you have Dan Quinn, he'll figure it out. I'm sure he will.
That's what I'm saying. I was who was it? Steve was talking about, the Commanders are going to go to a 4-2-5, which
Mm-hmm.
is something I run. I don't run defense up here, but I told my defensive coordinator to run this.
Mm-hmm.
4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 secondary people. You cannot throw the ball deep. If your front 4 is nasty, which the Washington team has a nasty front 4, we have a front 4 that's nasty. If you can get penetration, if you have smart linebackers that have speed, you can run a 4-2-5. So I know we're not going to run that. We're going to be running our 4-3. We know that, but
that's a given.
I can see Dan Quinn going maybe to a 4-2-5 or a something like that where we have 5 corners on the field at one time. I can see that because our corners are not afraid to hit.
No,
not afraid.
Wow.
Diggs. I think now if he runs that with Malik Hooker back there and Donovan Wilson, I think he can take those chances because you have Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, smart safeties that can help overside that ball. So. And Gilmore's not going to make mistakes. He's not going to make mistakes. He's fundamental, Dave, which I love.
Nah, he's going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine.
I hope so. But Dave, before we start, what are you looking at for a Friday night, Dave? What do you see in Dave Yarnell, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? What do you see on Friday night? What do you see, Dave, against Jacksonville?
I see a lot of second and third string players playing.
Okay, is there going to be a Rico sighting? Is what I'm going to ask you.
Might be.
I can't wait for the group chat. Paul, there's Rico.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
I want to see. I want to see how our offensive line looks. I'm interested in seeing how we run the ball, and not a Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm the type guy, Dave. I'm built different, but it's NFL.
I don't know if we'll see Will Greer or not. I probably will.
Sure. I don't think Cooper Rush is going to start the whole game. Maybe if Dak plays, he'll get one set. Maybe that's.
I don't think Dak's touching the field.
I don't know. If he does, he might get one set. That's it. Pull everybody out.
No, I heard Dak's not playing the preseason at all.
Okay. All right. I think we're going to get Cooper Rush probably a half, and then we're going to see that Will Greer.
Probably Will Greer. I'm sure.
Yeah. But I think we will see a lot of this is me, Dave. Since I coach offense up here, I'm not going to I'm not going to show you Kevontae Turpin in the backfield.
No.
I'm not going to show you Vaughn in the backfield. What I'm doing is I'm going to the locker room. I'm pulling Malik Davis, and I'm calling Rico in as well.
I think a lot of Malik Davis. You'll see a lot of Malik Davis.
That's what I see. I think I'm going to see a lot of those 2 running backs there where you're not going to see Pollard. You're not going to see Ronald Jones. You're not going to see that. You're going to see Malik Davis, and you're going to see Rico there carrying the ball. This is your time. Go out there, run the ball behind the line, get what you can, get your NFL presence in your eyes right now when you see it, because I think it's going to be very vanilla. And I know a lot of fans.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think a lot of fans next week, Dave, after Friday night this game's on, I guarantee
Actually Saturday.
Well, shit.
Saturday 4.
All right, then you know what? At Sunday at church, I'm going to hear a lot of my Cowboy people up there haters saying, "Oh, your Cowboys look like trash in the preseason." Well, you know what? It's going to be very vanilla because
it's preseason. It doesn't mean a thing.
It's preseason. I don't give a damn.
It means nothing.
Dave, I didn't even watch the Hall of Fame game. I didn't even watch that.
I didn't either. I watched maybe a quarter of it. I was done.
I didn't watch any of it, honestly. And you know what? I'll watch a little bit. Of course, I'll watch the Cowboys game. But Dave, there's nothing to be looking forward to. It's you can't really assume what you see is going to be real when you watch a preseason game.
All preseason is guys working for jobs. That's all it is.
And the thing is, like a couple years ago when the NFL was the NFL, Dave, they played the 4 preseason games every year. But that game 3, the first half, was an audition for your starters. It was all teams.
It was the coach I heard the other day said was it Denver or was it New Orleans? Said they're playing all their starters preseason. I'm like, what?
I did hear something like that. Where they need the reps. This is practice. We need practice.
Was it New Orleans?
I forgot who it was. I did hear the same thing though. I can't recall who it was though now.
I was like, who does that?
You know what? That's an old school coach, Dave. I mean, I do it. I mean, we go 7-on-7s, for 20 minutes of practice, and then after that, I go full scrimmage. In week 2 of practice,
I get it. I want to say, I think it was New Orleans coach, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was that. I don't even remember.
Right? I don't see Peyton doing that. I don't see Sean Payton doing that at Denver. He was always like a laid back guy, like scheme wise, not showing you everything. I think it was Peyton.
I think it was Peyton.
That's crazy.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
He said, I'm playing all my starters. I was like, what?
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, it was Peyton because They said that Russell Wilson was supposed to be playing. That's exactly who it was. It was Denver.
Wow, that's surprising. That's surprising.
What I said.
Well, listen, here's the deal. And I know you're in Denver there, Sean Payton fans out there. If you run you too hard, I know we can't help you. But listen, if you're in PA, we can actually help you here because of the fact that, hey, we have a lawyer that take care of all your needs. 1-800-HURT-12, Attorney Big Al, Jason Fine. Word vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, 3 office locations. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, we got you covered out there. Cherry Hill, we got you covered over there, and Pittsburgh as well. Give him a call, 1-800-HURT-123. He'll definitely take care of you for all your personal injury needs. And also, if you want to stay up late, you're on the East Coast and you want to check out a West Coast game, get yourself some Monkey Cold Coffee, bourbon chocolate chip, toasted coconut rum, and the newest flavor, Sumatra and Bland for all you regular coffee drinkers out there. I prefer the bourbon chocolate chip. But if you want some coffee, OOTBS Sports at the register at monkeycoldcoffee.com goes to a great cause as well. 10% of each sale goes to the National Pediatric Foundation at nationalpcf.org. Great charity, great coffee, 2 things in one, and also our newest sponsor, dugoutmugs.com. Use promo code OOTBS Sports 20. Why 20? You get 20% off your entire order. I actually just ordered an out-of-the-box custom mug, so if you want a custom mug, go ahead and order it. Any team, anything you want printed on the mug, they'll do it for you. I myself ordered it. Great promo code, dugoutmugs.com. Great gifts. Get them now. Get it before Christmas comes, I'm telling you right now. And last but not least, guys, here's our schedule. We have something for everybody. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we have more to be seen, too. Tonight, you're watching them 215 boys. Tomorrow night, Phillies, Fuji Flair will not be on. As we said, family comes first, and he's doing a Phillies game for the next couple of weeks. But, Dave, I think you're going to be on Friday night, right?
Yeah, Tom Drop Podcast, 10:30. Check us out, man. Big Ken Fry. We'll be talking WWE and everything wrestling-wise.
There you go. And also, guys, coming back next Wednesday night, right before them 215 boys, I'm going to announce my new co-host for College Football Frenzy. He is from another network, great guy. He's like the Mr. Encyclopedia of college football, high school football. Mr. Bill Furman will be my co-host.
Really? Wow. Yes. Very nice.
I got the okay for that tonight. Bill Furman will be my co-host every week, along with Joe Sullivan, Sean Kilrain, and a couple other guys hopping on. More than welcome. But we are back next week. College Football Frenzy will be back in the house getting ready.
That's exciting.
Yes, can't wait. I really can't wait for that.
I want to give a shout out to this kid, Michael Lorenzen for the Phillies. He pitched a full complete game and a no-hitter.
No, congratulations. To him. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, Dave, as we always do this, brother, you already know it is time for what we do.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Football is around the corner, guys. It's coming. It's actually here. It's crazy. Preseason's on the way. Like I said, I always say, please just stay healthy going into the regular season, because I hate to see injuries go, especially with other teams and especially with my team and everybody else's team. So other than that, stay healthy and enjoy your week, and football's around the corner. That's all I can tell you.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off what Dave said. Preseason here, it's football's back. It's something that I just missed the sound of pads hitting. The sound of that, helmets crashing, play calling, the fans. I coach it. I love it. I can't wait for NFL season to be back. My final thoughts, as well as that, would be stay healthy. Let's play as a team. Let's play strong for the whole season. And my last thing is, Zac Martin, please report to camp.
Yes, please report to camp, Zach. We need you.
That's all I'm asking. So, hey, listen, Dave, we'll be back next week. The TOP might be back next week. I know football season.
Nice.
Football season's along with him. So he's the president of Plymouth White Marsh Spartans out there. So if you're in that area, you're watching the show, if your son wants to play football, contact Matt Klein, one of the hosts here too. They'll take care of you. Great Pop Warner coach as well. So
Plymouth White Marsh man over there.
Yeah, Plymouth White Marsh Spartans out there. We did play Matt in years ago. We used to play at Ben Salem, played Matt a couple times. Matt's not very happy with me about that, but yeah, we did win the Keystone State.
I'm sure he's gotten over it by now.
Yeah, we don't hold grudges here. Cowboy fans are not like that.
Yes. Yes.
Dave, we'll be back next week, of course. So let's just, let's get out of here. And hey, guys, stay healthy. And guys, next Wednesday night, 9:30, you already know, prime time, them 215 Boys in House. My name is Paul Spencer. And I'm, of course, with the showstopper. Who is he?
Cowboy Day, baby.
You already know. Cowboy Nation, we'll see you next week.
See y'all.